Oh, hello. Much better. Okay, let's get this started. So hello, hi, welcome to today's video. If you've never seen my face before, my name is JC and I'm going to be talking about my fall TBR. A couple days ago, I posted my fall recommendations video if you want to go over and check that out. I know a big concern with recommendation videos overall is the risk of spoilers, so I try to structure it in such a way to just give you the vibe of each book, but not any main plot points. So if it was YA, fantasy, pirates, that's all you need to know. So you can go over there and check that out if you want with no risk of spoilers. So we're not really gonna have any structure in going through these books. I feel like in my recommendations video, I tried to break it up by genre, have some rhyme or reason. Nope, not today. I just went through the books that I own, grabbed the ones that interest me, and then I also have a list on my phone of some upcoming releases, some books that I'm interested in that I don't have a physical copy of, things like that. So we're just gonna randomly go through them. So the first book I'm gonna talk about is actually one that I'm 95% of the way through, but I wanna finish the trilogy this fall. So this is Foxglove. This is the second book after Belladonna, and then the third book, Wisteria, just came out. So I'm 95% of the way through this. I hope to finish it today, and then I wanna jump into Wisteria for sure this fall. The next one is actually my September book club pick, and that's The Dawn of Onyx. Now this is a trilogy. I know the first two books are out, and I think we're waiting on the third at this point. I wanted to read it this fall, but now it's a book club pick, so I gotta read it sooner than later. I do like that it's a pretty short book as far as fantasy goes, so I'm excited to get into this one. Next up is Shadow of Night. So this is a part of a trilogy as well. It's the All Souls trilogy. The first one is A Discovery of Witches, which I read a long time ago, but I want to continue with this trilogy. And to my knowledge, it's like a trilogy, but you could continue on with the world if you wanted. So I definitely want to read this one this fall. I may have to do a reread of A Discovery of Witches. Let me know if you'd want to see a reading vlog on that. I know it's a widely loved book, and I feel like it'd be great to do like a reread and like remind myself kind of all the little details before jumping into this one. Next up is finishing a duology. So I recently read One Dark Window, and then I want to finish it with Two Twisted Crowns. I loved One Dark Window. I read it last month and obsessed over it. It's so good. Like, it's widely loved and it's popular for a reason. I loved it, and I feel like it's perfect for fall. It kind of has this darker tone to it, which I love. Next up, you guys, this is on every TBR. It's on summer, it's on fall, it's on winter, it's on everything. It's getting read this fall. It has to, and that's the Six of Crows Crooked Kingdom duology. It's a duology, like JC, it's so easy. So it's definitely getting read. You guys should yell at me if I don't, because I just keep putting it off, and I have no idea why, because it's like to do with a heist. And I know it's YA. I don't know. I just know that everyone loves it, and I don't know why I keep putting it off. Okay. Let's flip you guys over so you can see titles now. Well, maybe you can't, but you get the vibe. Next up, I just picked up this book from the airport on my way home yesterday, and it is The Bird and the Blade. I just read the back of it, and it seemed so good. Just like the top part, nothing to do with the main synopsis, says a lush, powerful story of life and death, battles and riddles, lies and secrets. Why is no one talking about this? So I'm scared if it's bad, but I'm hoping it's not. I do not know. I feel like it's giving standalone vibes, but maybe it's not. Oh, we got a little map. That's adorable. Okay, we have a cast of characters, the contents. Okay, more praise. Yeah, I have no idea if this is supposed to be more than just a standalone. So I will definitely report back on this, but it seemed so fun. Like, it's giving YA fantasy romance. This pile is so gonna fall. Next up, guys, I want to continue with Heartstopper. I read the first 3 volumes, so I want to read volumes 4 and 5. There's literally falling leaves right here. I just read the back. I'm just so excited. Like, and this is a big one. Like, I'm very excited to continue on with this. I love Heartstopper. If you have like any interest in it, I recommend it wholeheartedly. The Netflix adaptation is absolute perfection. It gives you like the graphic novel vibe, but still very much like, you know, real people. Oh, it's so good. It's casted perfectly. Okay, next up, Throne of Glass. If you watch my other videos, I feel like I've touched on it. I also have shared it on Instagram, but I'm starting this series. I'm buddy reading it. We're gonna read it this fall. I'm so excited. I'm loving it so far. So I'm currently about 50% or 60% into Throne of Glass. So to keep it short, because I feel like I can talk about it for forever, I read The Assassin's Blade, like the entirety of it first, and then I learned of a reading guide that suggested reading certain novellas ahead of certain like books, I guess, in the first like 3 to 4 books, and I'm now doing that. So I read all of Assassin's Blade, and then I reread the first novella, and then started Throne of Glass, and it's been the most perfect, amazing experience so far. I'm doing a reading vlog on it, so you'll kind of see more real-time reading updates as I read it. Next up, oh yeah, fairy tale. So this was on my summer TBR. I read Billy Summers last year by Stephen King and really liked it. I wish I would have read this more during summer, but at the same time, I'm in Southern California. Like, I'm gonna have summer for a while. So yeah, this is continued on for my summer TBR. I just like Stephen King and I want to continue on with his books. I feel like fairy tale seems like another Billy Summers one to me. Then I have a couple library books here. So I currently have Dragonfall checked out from the library. Dragons, so it's giving fantasy. I have no idea what it's about, like zero clue. So we'll see. I hope to get to it. I don't know when it's due back. And then I have That Dark Infinity. It's giving belladonna. I see like a human hand wrapped with a skeletal hand. No idea what it's about either. I do see at the top it says, with the curse unbroken, I'll remain this way until the end of the world. Past the end of the world, maybe. Weird. Exciting. Okay, and then I have Daughter of the Siren Queen. So I read Daughter of the Pirate King last month, and this is the second book in that duology. So I immediately checked it out from the library. I also have the audiobook, so I want to continue this and finish that duology. It just is so easy. Like, Daughter of the Pirate King was so easy to read. I feel like I have to finish this duology. The last physical one I have is Leather and Lark. I just read Butcher and Blackbird and literally loved every second of it as a true crime loving girly, like 2 serial killers falling in love. Say less. Say less. That book was so funny, but also like dark because like serial killers, but also the romance. Oh, it was perfection. So I want to continue on with that. We get 2 different characters here. And then I have a list on my phone. So I think I have 5 books on this list. It's like in the mix of ones I've already talked about. So a couple new releases coming. We have Throne of Secrets that's coming out September 24th. That is the second book in the kind of like the interconnected standalone. And the first book was Throne of the Fallen, and it was so good. Like, so good. So Throne of Secrets is the second book. I'm very excited. And then we have The West Wind, which is coming out in November 7th. And that is the second book of the interconnected standalone. I don't know what like the series is called, but the first book is The North Wind, and that came out I think in June or July of this year, which I really liked. I think I gave it 4.5 stars or something. And then we have Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. That comes out the 12th of November. And that is the like next book in more of like the inheritance games side versus the Grandest Game, which is kind of like the beginning of a new series in that world. So I'm very excited. I love her books. They're just so bingeable. They're so interesting. I love the way her brain works to create all those mysteries, riddles, and like little pieces that connect in the end. It's just honestly so impressive. So I'm very excited about that one. And then I have a couple books that are currently being checked out from the library, like they're on their way, and that would be This Ravenous Fate, that is a new release, and The Crimson Crown. So I've seen a few people review them already and really like them, and I just kind of wanted to add them to my list to read. So if I'm checking them out from the library, then they're gonna come during fall time for sure. So there's kind of like added on there. And then I have 4 to talk about that are from Libro FM's ALC program, the Advanced Listener Copy program. So I have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This is, I feel like a cozy fantasy, not fantasy, like a cozy mystery maybe. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I know it's cozy something, and we have the audiobook available, and it's not new, so I don't know why it's here, but I'm not gonna complain. So I have the audiobook for that. And then I have We Came to Welcome You, and this is, oh my gosh, it's a novel of suburban horror. Excuse me? Anyways, This is kind of like my mystery thriller for sure I want to listen to. It seems so good. It seems creepy, like it seems weird. Very excited. And then the last two are kind of the, what is it, like fall romance kind of vibe. So it's Haunted Ever After, which kind of gives me a similar vibe to like the Dead Romantics, honestly. So very excited to read this one. And then Truly, Madly, Magically. Really have no idea. I see it says book 3 in the witch lore. I'm hoping they're like interconnected standalone, or like it really doesn't matter if I read or listen to this one first. We'll see. But so these are all the books that I'm going to be choosing from this fall. I feel like I'm a mood reader, so I'm going to add in some other books here and there. These are not the only books you're going to see from me over the next few months, but these are definitely some main ones that I hope to read over the next 3 months. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of these books, if I should kind of bump them up on my TBR, and if you guys have any recommendations for me.